The massive alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit without warning, its metallic surface gleaming under the sun. The world held its breath as the vessel, nearly 3 kilometers long, positioned itself above the United Nations headquarters in New York. World leaders gathered in emergency sessions while military forces worldwide went on high alert. The ship's arrival marked humanity's first contact with alien life, but not in the way anyone had expected or hoped for. 3 days after their arrival, the aliens finally made contact. They called themselves the representatives of the Galactic Council, a federation of over 200 spacefaring species. Their holographic projection appeared simultaneously in every major government building across Earth. "We have been watching your development," announced the alien diplomat, a tall figure with blue-tinted skin and 4 arms. "Your species has shown promise, but you remain primitive by our standards. You have yet to achieve faster-than-light travel, and your technology is centuries behind the Council's minimum requirements for independent status." The UN Security Council, led by Admiral Thomas Wilson, listened carefully to their words. The Admiral's weathered face remained neutral, but his eyes narrowed at the alien's condescending tone. "We offer you a choice," the alien continued. "Submit to Council authority as a protectorate species, or face isolation from galactic society. You have 48 hours to decide." The world's leaders met in an emergency session. Countries that had been enemies for decades now found themselves united against a common threat. They all agreed Earth would not bow to alien demands. Admiral Wilson delivered Earth's response. "We appreciate your offer, but Earth and humanity wish to join the galactic community as equals, not servants. We propose peaceful diplomatic relations and cultural exchange." The alien representatives received this message with visible disgust. "You dare to demand equality with species that have traveled the stars for millennia. Your arrogance will be your downfall." Without warning, the alien vessel fired energy beams at Earth's orbital stations. The International Space Station and several communication satellites exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Millions watched in horror as the debris rained down through the atmosphere. But humanity had not been idle during those 3 days. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to most of the world, Admiral Wilson stood before a massive screen displaying Earth's hidden defensive grid. "They think we're primitive," he said to his staff. "They don't know we've been preparing for this day for over 50 years." The room hummed with activity as technicians activated systems that had been waiting decades for this moment. Huge underground silos opened across the globe, revealing advanced weapon systems that humanity had developed in secret. "Send the message to all commands," ordered Wilson. "Operation Guardian is now active. All units to battle stations." The alien ship's sensors detected the sudden energy surge too late. From hidden bases on Earth and the Moon, defensive systems powered up. A network of quantum-based shields, invisible until now, sprang to life around the planet. The alien vessel fired again, but their energy weapons dispersed harmlessly against Earth's shields. The aliens' surprise was evident in their next transmission. "Impossible. Your species shouldn't have this technology." Admiral Wilson allowed himself a small smile. "We may not have FTL travel," he responded, "but we've had 50 years to prepare for this day. You should have checked more carefully before threatening Earth." As he spoke, the first wave of Earth's defense platforms emerged from their lunar hiding places. They were small, sleek, and powered by technology that the Galactic Council had never seen before. The alien ship attempted to retreat, but found itself trapped by a web of gravitational distortion fields, another human innovation they hadn't expected. "This is your only warning," Admiral Wilson transmitted. "Leave Earth's space peacefully, or face the consequences. We will defend ourselves." The alien ship managed to break free and fled toward the outer solar system, but the message was clear. Humanity would not be easily conquered or subjugated. As reports came in from around the world, Admiral Wilson knew this was just the beginning. The Galactic Council would return, and next time they would bring a fleet. But Earth would be ready. In the command center, Wilson addressed his staff. Today marks a new chapter in human history. We've revealed ourselves, and there's no going back. Get ready, everyone. The real war is about to begin. In the days following the first alien encounter, Earth's military leaders gathered in the top-secret facility known as Deep Mountain Base. Located 2 miles beneath the surface, this massive complex had been humanity's best-kept secret for half a century. Admiral Wilson led a group of foreign officials through vast underground chambers filled with advanced technology. After World War II, he explained, governments realized that we needed to prepare for threats beyond our planet. This facility is just one of 20 similar bases worldwide. The group stopped before a massive hangar door. As it slowly opened, gasps echoed through the corridor. Inside stood rows of sleek spacecraft, their dark hulls absorbing light in an unusual way. These weren't ordinary vessels. They were humanity's secret fleet. We recovered alien technology from multiple crash sites over the past century, Wilson continued. Instead of announcing it to the world, major powers agreed to work together in secret. We reverse-engineered what we found and developed our own unique approaches. Dr. Anna Thompson, chief scientist of the program, stepped forward. Her gray hair was tied back in a neat bun as she gestured toward the ships. These vessels use quantum vacuum propulsion, technology the Council doesn't have. While they focused on conventional faster-than-light travel, we found a different path. The facility rumbled as more sections activated. Hidden doors revealed rows of advanced weapon systems, defense platforms, and technology that seemed impossible for a supposedly primitive species to possess. Our greatest advantage, Dr. Thompson explained, is that we developed these technologies in isolation. The Council expects certain technological progression paths, but we took different routes. Our solutions are unpredictable to them. In another section, researchers demonstrated the quantum shield technology that had protected Earth. The shield didn't just block attacks, it absorbed energy and redirected it, making each defensive action strengthen their position rather than weaken it. Meanwhile, in orbit around Mars, automatic factories that had been hidden for decades began increasing production. These facilities have been building Earth's defense fleet piece by piece, preparing for this very moment. The Council thinks they're dealing with a primitive species that barely reached its moon, Admiral Wilson said, watching status reports from the Mars facilities. They don't realize we have bases across the solar system. We've been mining the asteroid belt and outer planets for 30 years. A young technician rushed into the room with urgent news. Sir, our deep space sensors have detected multiple Council ships entering the solar system. They're bringing a fleet this time. Wilson nodded, unsurprised. How many? 50 vessels, sir, all larger than the first one. The Admiral turned to the assembled leaders. This is what we've prepared for. Humanity hasn't been sitting idle, waiting to be discovered. We've been getting ready for war. In launch bays across the solar system, crews began boarding their ships. These weren't untested pilots. They had trained for years in secret, preparing for this moment. Every major nation had contributed their best personnel to the program. Dr. Thompson activated a holographic display showing Earth's complete defense network. Thousands of satellites, previously appearing as simple communication relays, shed their disguises to reveal weapon systems. Defense platforms on the moon emerged from hidden bunkers. We have 500 ships ready for combat, Wilson announced to the assembled leaders. Another 1,000 can be ready within a week. Our automated factories can replace losses faster than the Council can destroy them. The facility's AI system reported that all global defense systems were online. Quantum shields strengthened, weapon systems charged, and humanity's hidden fleet prepared for battle. They thought we were primitive because we didn't join their galactic community, Wilson said, watching the tactical displays. They never considered that we might have chosen to stay hidden, to develop on our own terms. As the Council fleet approached, humanity's leaders stood united. They had spent 50 years preparing for this moment, developing technologies and strategies unique to Earth. Send word to all commands, Wilson ordered. Operation Phoenix is now active. Show them what humanity can really do. The hidden arsenal of Earth was about to be revealed in full force, and the Galactic Council was about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity. The Council fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel near Jupiter's orbit. 50 massive warships, each bristling with weapons, moved in perfect formation toward Earth. Their commanders felt confident. No primitive species could withstand such overwhelming force. They were wrong. Admiral Wilson stood in Earth's central command center, watching the enemy fleets approach. "Begin Operation Thunderstrike," he ordered calmly. "Let's show them our first surprise." Hidden bases on Jupiter's moons suddenly activated. Automated defense platforms, disguised as research stations, powered up their weapons. The Council fleet had no idea they were flying into a trap. "Enemy ships entering Jupiter's gravity well," reported Lieutenant David Brown, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. "They're maintaining attack formation." Wilson nodded. "Launch the gravity mines." Thousands of small devices, previously hidden in Jupiter's rings, activated at once. They created localized gravity distortions, throwing the Council fleet into chaos. Several ships collided, their fancy navigation systems useless against Earth's unconventional weapons. The Council commanders frantically tried to regroup, but Earth wasn't finished. From bases on Europa and Ganymede, electromagnetic pulse weapons fired, targeting the alien ships' sensitive equipment. "Half their fleet is disabled," Lieutenant Brown announced. "Their shields are failing." The Council's response was predictable. They launched fighters. Thousands of small craft poured from their capital ships, heading toward Earth. But humanity had prepared for this too. "Release the drone swarms," Wilson commanded. From hidden stations across the solar system, millions of small combat drones activated. Each one was about the size of a coffee cup, powered by miniature fusion reactors. They moved in coordinated patterns, using advanced AI to outmaneuver the alien fighters. The space around Jupiter turned into a massive battlefield. Council fighters, designed to fight conventional enemies, found themselves overwhelmed by Earth's unconventional tactics. The drones didn't just attack. They adapted, learning from each encounter. "Sir," called Dr. Thompson from her station, "the quantum shields are working better than expected. Each hit they take makes them stronger. The Council weapons are actually helping us." Wilson allowed himself a small smile. "Launch our main fleet. Let's show them what Earth can really do." From hidden bases on Mars and the Moon, hundreds of Earth warships emerged. They were smaller than the Council vessels, but far more maneuverable. Using quantum vacuum drives, they could move in ways the aliens thought impossible. Commander Lisa Parker led the first attack wing. Her ships accelerated at speeds that would have crushed any living crew. But Earth's ships were designed with inertial dampeners far more advanced than anything the Council possessed. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta," Parker ordered. Her fleet split into smaller groups, targeting the disabled Council vessels. The aliens tried to respond, but their tactics were predictable, developed over centuries of fighting conventional enemies. Earth's forces were anything but conventional. Human ships phased through enemy shields using quantum tunneling technology. Their weapons bypassed traditional defenses, striking directly at vital systems. Council commanders watched in horror as their primitive opponents systematically dismantled their fleet. "Enemy fleet is retreating," Lieutenant Brown reported. "They've lost 23 ships. The rest are attempting to reach FTL range." But Earth had one final surprise. Hidden relays around the solar system activated, creating a web of quantum disruption fields. The Council ships found their FTL drives wouldn't work. "Send the message," Wilson ordered. The transmission went out to all Council vessels. "You entered our space uninvited. You threatened our world. You assumed we were primitive and weak. That was your mistake. Surrender now, or be destroyed." The remaining Council ships, Faced with technology they couldn't understand and tactics they couldn't counter, had no choice. One by one, they powered down their weapons. As Earth forces moved to secure the captured vessels, Admiral Wilson addressed his command staff. "This is just the beginning," he said. "The Council will send more ships, but now they know Earth isn't an easy target. We're not just fighting for survival. We're fighting to show the galaxy that humanity won't be pushed around." The first strike had been a success, but everyone knew the real war was just beginning. News of the Council fleet's defeat spread quickly through galactic space. In the Grand Council chamber on their capital world, representatives from 200 species gathered in emergency session. The atmosphere was tense as they watched recordings of the battle. "Impossible," shouted the High Commander, his scaled skin turning pale. "How could they defeat our most advanced ships? They're supposed to be primitives." Dr. Thompson stood before Earth's United Defense Council, explaining their next technological revelation. "We've decoded their FTL communications," she said, displaying a hologram of quantum wave patterns. "But more importantly, we can now disrupt them." Across the solar system, Earth's forces were installing new quantum disruptors. These devices could prevent any Council ship from sending messages or using faster-than-light travel within Earth's sphere of influence. Admiral Wilson watched as the defense network expanded. "How long until the next Council fleet arrives?" he asked. "Our deep space sensors detect massive fleet movements," Lieutenant Brown responded. "They're gathering forces from across their territory. Estimate 2 weeks until they reach our solar system." Meanwhile, the captured Council ships had revealed vital information. Earth scientists discovered that all Council technology followed the same basic principles that Earth's isolated development had bypassed entirely. "They're trapped in their own technological evolution," Dr. Thompson explained to the Defense Council. "For millennia, they've only improved existing technologies, but we developed completely different solutions to the same problems. In orbit around Earth, workers installed massive quantum field generators. Unlike the Council's brute force approach to space warfare, Earth's technology worked with the fabric of space itself." The Council's emergency session grew heated as more representatives viewed the battle footage. "Look at their ships," exclaimed one alien diplomat. "They move in ways that violate our understanding of physics." Earth's quantum drives didn't push against space like Council engines. They manipulated the quantum fabric itself, allowing for maneuvers that the aliens considered impossible. "Our biggest advantage," Admiral Wilson told his officers, "is that they can't adapt to our technology quickly. Their entire civilization is built on different principles. They'd have to restart their technological development from scratch to counter us." Deep in the Mars research facilities, Dr. Thompson made another breakthrough. "We can now predict where their ships will appear when they exit FTL," she announced. "Their jump points leave quantum signatures we can detect hours in advance." The Council was falling into disarray. Some species began questioning centuries of technological development. If humans could develop such powerful alternatives in isolation, what else had the Council missed? "Set up the quantum detection grid," Wilson ordered. "I want early warning when their next fleet arrives, and prepare the new weapons for deployment." Earth's latest innovation was ready: quantum phase missiles. These weapons could phase through any known shield technology, rematerializing inside enemy ships. The Council had no defense against weapons that bypassed physical space. "The quantum field generators are online," Lieutenant Brown reported. "We can now control the space around Earth up to the orbit of Mars." Within this vast sphere of influence, Earth's forces could manipulate the very fabric of space-time. Council ships entering this region would find their technology severely handicapped, while Earth's quantum-based systems worked perfectly. The Council's High Commander received more disturbing news. 3 member species had already announced their withdrawal from the Council, citing the need to re-evaluate their technological development. Admiral Wilson stood at the command center window, watching Earth's defense platforms orbit overhead. "They thought they were so advanced," he mused. They never considered that a different path of development might lead to superior technology. Dr. Thompson joined him at the window. Their entire society is built around their understanding of physics. We've just proved that understanding incomplete. As Earth prepared for the next invasion, the Council faced a harsh reality. They weren't just fighting a war against a primitive species, they were facing an enemy that had developed powers they couldn't understand or counter. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting, and humanity was holding the lever. The hidden shipyards of Mars burst into activity as massive hangar doors opened for the first time in decades. Earth's secret offensive fleet, built over 50 years of preparation, emerged into the red planet's dusty atmosphere. These ships were different from the defensive vessels. They were built for long-range combat and invasion. Admiral Wilson stood on the bridge of the flagship Terran Dawn, overseeing the launch of humanity's counter-invasion force. All ships report ready status, he announced to the assembled fleet commanders. Today, we take the fight to them. The offensive fleet numbered over 1,000 vessels, each equipped with Earth's most advanced quantum technology. Unlike the bulky Council ships, these were sleek, almost predatory in design. They could slip through space using quantum tunneling, appearing anywhere without warning. Last transmission from our spies in Council space, Lieutenant Brown reported. Their main defense fleets are still gathered near Earth's sector. Their core worlds are practically undefended. The Council had made a critical error. They'd concentrated their forces for another attack on Earth, leaving their home systems vulnerable. They never expected their primitive enemy to strike back so quickly. Commander Parker led the first attack wing. All ships, power up quantum drives, she ordered. Set coordinates for the Council capital system. Earth's fleet vanished in flashes of blue light, using their quantum drives to bypass normal space entirely. While Council ships had to follow specific FTL routes, Earth vessels could appear anywhere instantly. The Council's capital world had no warning. One moment their skies were clear, the next 1,000 of Earth's warships appeared in perfect attack formation. Their supposedly impenetrable planetary shields proved useless against quantum phase weapons. Target their government centers and military installations only, Wilson commanded. We're here to end their ability to wage war, not to destroy their civilization. Earth's forces moved with surgical precision. Quantum torpedoes phased through planetary defenses, materializing inside key military facilities. Defense platforms were disabled by weapons they couldn't detect or understand. In the Council's Grand Chamber, panic erupted as Earth ships appeared directly overhead, visible through the transparent dome. Their weapons technology made the Council's best defenses meaningless. Send the message, Wilson ordered. The transmission reached every screen and communication device on the Council capital world. Your fleet attacked Earth without provocation. You thought us primitive and weak. Now we demonstrate the price of your arrogance. Surrender your military authority, or we'll dismantle your entire defense network. To demonstrate their power, Earth ships began systematically destroying military installations across the planet's surface. Council leaders watched helplessly as their most advanced weapons proved useless against the human vessels. Meanwhile, other Earth task forces struck critical Council facilities across multiple star systems. Shipyards, military bases, and command centers fell silent as quantum weapons bypassed their defenses. Sir, Lieutenant Brown reported, Council member species are breaking ranks. 7 more have announced their withdrawal from the Alliance. They're asking for separate peace negotiations. The Council's military structure was collapsing. Their rigid hierarchy, built over thousands of years, couldn't adapt to Earth's unconventional warfare. Species that had been reluctant Council members saw their chance for independence. Multiple Council warships are powering down weapons, Commander Parker reported from her attack wing. They're signaling surrender. Admiral Wilson nodded. Accept their surrender but maintain quantum disruption fields. No Council ship leaves until we have formal terms of surrender. The Council's High Commander, faced with the complete failure of their military strategy, had no choice. We submit to Earth's terms, he announced, his voice shaking. The Council surrenders its military authority. As Earth forces secured their victory, Dr. Thompson contacted the flagship. "The quantum field network is fully operational," she reported. "We can now detect and prevent any unauthorized Council ship movement across their entire territory." The counter-invasion had succeeded beyond their wildest expectations. In less than a day, humanity had gone from defending their solar system to controlling the galaxy's most powerful political entity. Admiral Wilson looked out at the Council capital world below. "Now," he said quietly, "we rebuild the galaxy's power structure. This time, with equality for all species." The Great Council Chamber, once a symbol of galactic power, now stood as a testament to change. Earth's representatives sat at the high table where Council leaders had once looked down on lesser species. Admiral Wilson faced the assembled representatives of 200 worlds, many of whom were seeing the human in person for the first time. "The old Council is dissolved," Wilson announced, his voice carrying across the vast chamber. "Its corruption and abuse of power ends today. We have proof of their crimes." Dr. Thompson stepped forward, activating a holographic display that filled the chamber. These records, recovered from Council databases, show centuries of manipulation. They deliberately suppressed technological development in younger species to maintain control. The evidence was damning. The Council hadn't just been arrogant. They had actively prevented other species from developing alternative technologies that might challenge their power. Earth had escaped this fate only because they hadn't discovered it sooner. "Multiple Council leaders are under arrest," Lieutenant Brown reported. "Our forces found hidden facilities where they tested weapons on civilian populations. The corruption went deeper than we imagined." As more revelations emerged, the remaining Council supporters lost their influence. Species that had suffered under Council rule for centuries began speaking out, sharing their own stories of oppression and control. "The quantum detection grid has revealed something else," Dr. Thompson announced. The Council was building secret warships, planning to subjugate more independent worlds. They were preparing for galactic conquest. In response to these discoveries, more species broke away from the old power structure. Earth's victory had shattered the Council's facade of benevolent leadership, exposing the rot beneath. Admiral Wilson met with representatives from formerly suppressed species. Many had developed their own unique technologies in secret, just as Earth had. The Council's fall meant they could finally share their innovations. "The Council claimed faster-than-light travel could only work one way," said an alien scientist from a distant world. "But like you, we found alternatives. They threatened us into silence." Across Council space, hidden resistance movements emerged. Species that had appeared primitive revealed advanced technologies they had concealed for generations. The Council's grip on power had been built on lies and suppression. "We're receiving requests for alliance from 30 different species," Lieutenant Brown reported. "They all want to share technology and establish free trade." The Council's military forces continued to surrender as more truth came to light. Many officers admitted they had known about the corruption, but felt powerless to oppose it. Earth's victory had given them the courage to finally stand against their leaders. In the Council's secure archives, Earth forces discovered plans for weapons of mass destruction, designed to destroy any world that discovered quantum technology. The Council had recognized the threat to their power and prepared to eliminate it. They would have destroyed Earth if they could. Dr. Thompson told the assembled representatives, "We weren't just fighting for ourselves. We were fighting for every species they planned to eliminate." The former Council leaders, now facing trial for their crimes, watched as their carefully constructed power structure crumbled. Centuries of manipulation and control ended in days as the truth spread across the galaxy. Admiral Wilson stood before the galaxy's press, cameras from 100 worlds recording his words. "The age of Council dominance is over. We invite all species to join in building a new galactic society, one based on equality, shared knowledge, and mutual respect." Earth's quantum technology became the foundation for a new age of exploration and development. Species that had been blocked from advancing their technology now shared their ideas freely, leading to rapid progress across multiple fields. The Council's greatest fear, Wilson told his staff, was that different species might develop technologies they couldn't control. They never imagined their actions would lead to exactly that outcome. As the last Council loyalists surrendered, the galaxy entered a new era. Earth hadn't just won a military victory. They had broken a system of control that had lasted for thousands of years. The Council's downfall marked the beginning of a new age, one where no single species or group could dominate the others. The galaxy was finally free. 3 months after the Council's fall, representatives from 500 species gathered in the rebuilt Galactic Chamber. The old Council's symbols of power had been replaced with new ones representing unity and cooperation. Earth stood not as a conqueror, but as an architect of change. Admiral Wilson, now serving as Earth's primary diplomatic representative, addressed the gathered species. "Today marks the beginning of the Galactic Alliance," he announced. "Not an empire, not a council of the powerful, but a true partnership of equals." The new alliance headquarters, built using combined technology from dozens of species, floated in space above the former council capital. Its design incorporated architectural elements from all member worlds, symbolizing the new era of cooperation. The quantum communication network is now available to all alliance members, Dr. Thompson reported to the assembly. Every species can now share knowledge and communicate instantly across the galaxy. Former council worlds, once restricted in their development, flourished under the new system. Species that had hidden their innovations for centuries now shared them openly. The combination of different technological approaches led to breakthroughs that would have been impossible under the old regime. Lieutenant Brown, monitoring the galaxy's transformation, provided encouraging news. Trade between former council worlds has increased by 300%. Sharing technology has improved living standards on every member world. The Alliance's first major project demonstrated its new approach. A massive space station, built using technology from 50 different species, became a center for galactic research and cultural exchange. Earth's quantum technology worked alongside innovations from across the galaxy. The old council feared different approaches to science. Dr. Thompson told a group of alien scientists, "But we've proven that combining our various technologies creates something greater than any single path could achieve." Earth's defensive technologies were shared with Alliance members, but with safeguards to prevent misuse. The quantum detection grid now protected all member worlds, ensuring no species could secretly build weapons of mass destruction. Admiral Wilson walked through the Alliance's new diplomatic center, watching representatives from former enemy species working together. The Council's greatest failure, he observed, was thinking control was better than cooperation. The former Council prisoners, after fair trials, received their sentences. Most faced rehabilitation and restrictions, but the focus was on healing the damage they had caused rather than punishment. Earth had learned from human history that revenge only continued cycles of violence. "We're receiving applications from species beyond former Council space," Lieutenant Brown reported. "They want to join the Alliance after seeing how it operates." The galaxy's economy transformed as trade barriers fell. Species that had been intentionally kept poor by Council policies now had access to markets and technology. Worlds that had been exploited for resources became manufacturing centers. Dr. Thompson led the Alliance's new scientific council, where researchers from hundreds of worlds shared discoveries freely. "Every species approaches problems differently," she explained. "By combining our perspectives, we solve challenges that once seemed impossible." The quantum transportation network, expanded to include innovations from other species, connected the galaxy like never before. Travel times between worlds dropped from weeks to minutes as different FTL technologies were integrated. Admiral Wilson stood at a viewport in the Alliance station, watching ships from across the galaxy dock and depart. Each vessel represented a different approach to space travel, all working together in harmony. The Council thought crushing differences made them strong. He said to the assembled Alliance leadership, We've proven that embracing those differences makes us stronger. As the first year of the Alliance drew to a close, the galaxy had changed beyond recognition. Species that had been enemies for centuries now worked together. Technology advanced at unprecedented rates as different scientific traditions merged and evolved. Earth had achieved something remarkable, not just victory in war, but the creation of a truly united galaxy. The Alliance stood as proof that cooperation would always be stronger than control. "This is just the beginning," Wilson told the Alliance Assembly. "Together, we'll explore not just our galaxy, but the universe beyond. And we'll do it not as rulers and subjects, but as equals and friends." The age of the Council was over. The age of the Alliance had begun.